Hey, it's Kurt again, and I came across something in LinkedIn today that gave me a little bit of a giggle, and then I had to deal with the introspective concern of is that giggle worthy or other people just being sensitive? So I want to share it with you. I want to get your feedback. Do you think this is giggle worthy, or is this really so far over the edge that I'm just a horrible person? So let me take a look at this with you real quick. In fact, let me blow this up so you can see it better. This person says here, so this person, and I'm going to hide their name, okay, because that's just not right. So this person is at a networking event. She is a she, she's female, and some dude hands her this card, and it says, "Excuse me, but I am the bashful, silent type. Is there any chance of crawling into bed tonight?" And then it goes on to say some other things. And so it says, "Is there any chance?" In fact, let me see if I can make this bigger for you. Let me see if we can make that a little larger. Put that up on screen. It says, "Is there any chance of crawling into bed with you tonight? If so, keep this card. If not, kindly return it as they are expensive and I'm running out of them." P.S. You don't have to say yes. Just smile. Now, is it in bad taste? Absolutely, it's in bad taste. Um, I'm not saying I am for this at all. Okay, so I want to be super clear. This is not how Kurt Von Onen operates. Uh, I'm a happily married man. If I go to a networking event, I'm not hitting on you at all. But here's a subtle walk down reality a little bit. As a male going to networking events and going to hotel stays and traveling and going through airports, I will tell you firsthand, and I know what I look like. So this is not a prideful thing at all. I know what I look like, right? Thank goodness my wife accepted me because I know I am no George Clooney. And people hit on you all the time. All the time. It comes up. People are flirtatious. They might not be hitting on you. They might just be being friendly. All those kinds of things. But if women think they're the only ones being hit on in LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, through email, they are sadly mistaken. I have amateur porn stars and bikini models come into my inbox dang near nonstop. Okay. Everybody has something they want from somebody else. And when we see what we have allowed or even celebrated as an overall community, society in general, here in the United States especially, we shouldn't be surprised when people's behavior is a little bit weird. Okay. When you see viral TikTok accounts for swingers celebrating the lifestyle, most of them traveling for work, we shouldn't be surprised if somebody shoots their shot and takes a chance. For years, people have been told, shoot your shot, do what you can. This guy shot his shot. And I can't help but wonder if it's just a joke. I mean, the card is written in such a super precarious way. Return the card, they're expensive and I'm running out. I realize you could be insulted, you could be upset, or it could be a joke. It could be funny as heck. It's just that's the problem with humor. That's the problem with being creative. That's the problem all around. Now, I got to ask, if a woman had put that card out into the ether and a man had made that post, would there be universal disdain in that person's comment section? So, for example, I'm going to go back to the post, and there's not a single person in here that says, "Hey, the guy shot his shot." You know, "Hey, sorry you're offended. The guy shot his shot." Time and time again, women are jumping on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, and saying, "Oh, what's the matter? What happened to the men of yesterday? How come no one will shoot their shot? This guy shot his shot. He might not be very good at it, but he tried." So it's absolutely aberrant behavior. I'm bashful to say. That premeditated sexual harassment. Just the worst. Clearly a grubby little man. I actually had to check the date. It isn't fun to exist as a woman in this utter hellscape. How can this possibly be okay? At the very least, show it to the organizers. Let's dox this guy and get him thrown out of all future events. This is disgusting. I'm surprised he didn't put a QR code on it that takes you to pictures. I thought we'd reach the apex of creepy and disgusting behavior. Wow, this is the next level creepy. Oh, that is seriously revolting. Ick. This is so deeply peculiar. I'm wondering if there's something wrong with this guy. There probably is something wrong with this guy. This makes me cringe. Nothing says unchecked misogyny. You should have shown the other side of the card. Can't believe a creature like this is still walking around. Well, here's the deal. People like this are walking around. They just are. There's 8 billion people on the planet, and we're going to have to deal with some uncomfortable situations. Should women feel in danger? No, they shouldn't. Should they feel assaulted? No, they shouldn't. But was the guy pushy? And did she keep the card? She kept it long enough to take a picture of it. So I can't help but think to myself, this is funny. Again, if a woman would have given it to a man, there would be a list of jokes in the comment area. It would just be, just a list of jokes. And I got to tell you, as a man that traveled for business, especially working with Ducati and wearing the fancy Ducati clothes, women came out of the woodwork and proposed all kinds of inappropriate activities while I was on the road. Some that worked with the company, and some that worked with the hotels I stayed at, and some that worked at the restaurants and banquet houses that we held events at. When people travel for business, a lot of them treat it like they're going to Vegas. I know people, nobody wants to hear this. Nobody wants to hear this. We also live in a society where we have beat on men mercilessly. I am so thankful I'm not single in today's market. So thankful I am married. So thankful I have a family. I think about my son, who is getting up there in his teenage years. He's starting to get interested in dating. He's starting to pay attention to some things. And it's like, good luck, son, because it doesn't look happy out there. My daughter, she's older. She's a few years older. She has had some experiences with dating, and it is not pleasant. It's not a great selection out there. And again, when we put up things like OnlyFans, swinger viral sites, the crud that comes through our direct messaging, personal messaging, DMs, whatever we call this stuff in X, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, when we endure that as a society and almost celebrate it. For instance, I'm a huge fan of motorcycle road racing, a huge fan of motorcycle road racing. I raced for almost 20 years. One of the biggest sponsors right now, shouldn't say the biggest sponsors, but one of the most noteworthy sponsors is OnlyFans. OnlyFans is actually sponsoring a rider that I like, but I don't like them. I don't like OnlyFans. I don't like the message that it sends. I don't like the idea that women will run to take their clothes off to pay the rent and then talk about how men are forcing them into some kind of lifestyle or some kind of activity that they didn't want to do because of misogyny and sexism and can't get ahead in the marketplace and all of these things. But yet, as a society, we are celebrating and elevating that activity. Something before that used to come with a stigma is now celebrated as self-actualization, as empowerment, as all these things. But I think when we dive deeper, we can see that that's not so. And so when you erode the rules of society, when over the last 5 years, we've been told that everything that is right is wrong, everything that is wrong is right, stealing's okay, we don't have to press charges for breaking and entering, the police don't show up if someone's breaking into your house, we don't supply law enforcement for anything short of assault anymore, right? Like property crimes are okay. Like when we lower the bar as a society as much as we have, the outrage of someone handing you a business card that says, hey, I think you're hot and I'd like to jump in the sack with you. The outrage for that is hard to find. It really is hard to find. And what is comical, the funniest part about what I'm calling the LinkedIn Chronicles here is that this is a post on LinkedIn, right? So that's funny in itself. Years ago, this would have been a don't post this on LinkedIn. This is Facebook stuff, right? Years ago, that would have been what was the comment. The first comment on that post would have been, don't post your crap here on LinkedIn. That's a Facebook post. Well, now it's a LinkedIn post. The other humorous side of it is that it is completely, not a single person threw up the steel man argument. Not a single person jumped on. It's just hundreds of people that'll jump on that. And that tells you where our focus is. In a business networking social platform, hundreds of hits, probably thousands of hits, thousands of impressions, and hundreds of comments are going to come in about this lady receiving a business card that's inappropriate. That's where we're at. So anyway, that's my LinkedIn Chronicles for the day. I'm looking to see if there's any comments here. I don't see any comments that have come in. This, again, like I said, I am not endorsing the activity. I'm not saying every single dude out there should have a stack of business cards like this and hand them out. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. But she wasn't physically assaulted. Well, who knows? Because there's really not those details there, right? Was she chased around the event? Did he show up in every discussion circle and wink at her, or send her nonstop drinks? Did he try and roofie her? Like all those crazy thoughts come into the framework. But let's just be real. Let's assume that what she wrote in the post is all that happened. They met at a networking event and he handed her a card and shot his shot because he was too afraid to address her verbally. And for that, he's going to get possibly reported to the organization, blackballed from future events, possibly written up at work or fired for sexual harassment. This is why men don't shoot their shot. This is why men. It used to be you would meet your future wife in the workplace. Now there's no way you could be social in the workplace. The best place to work is from the solace of your home. Don't even go to the office. Don't get caught looking at somebody in the office. Don't get caught, even glancing at somebody. You can get written up. You get sexual harassment. Don't do it. I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but it was like that in California. Anyway, folks, that's my rant for today. That is the LinkedIn Chronicles. I'm not sure if I'm going to do something like this or not on the daily. I am seeing crazy stuff in my feed on a daily basis on LinkedIn. Some of it I think is funny. I got to admit, I thought this particular thread was funny. A lot of people didn't, obviously, right? Looking at the posts. And maybe I'm committing some type of social suicide here. And that's certainly not my intention. It's not my intention at all. My intention is to say, if we degrade the norms or the minimal acceptance throughout society on every level, if we celebrate OnlyFans and we normalize porn and we can have drag parties for kids and we can do all of these things that a decade ago were considered perversions. When we have our leadership talking about minor attracted persons instead of just calling them pedophiles, when we normalize all this other activity and then try to be angry because a male approaches a female and says, hey, you want to knock some boots or what? And we want to be enraged about that, like over the top enraged, over the top upset. Everyone's got a comment. I am so infuriated. That's funny. That's funny. And maybe that's not your sense of humor, but I saw it today and I chuckled. So now I have to ask myself, maybe this is the content people want to see. Maybe we pull apart something in LinkedIn every day and we call it the LinkedIn Chronicles, and we just unpack what people are complaining about or ranting about for the day in a business oriented platform. Folks, have yourself a good day. I hope you have a sense of humor, and I will see you on the other side.